welcome to another installment of the Fragments of Silicon Reviews. 4 reviews up this week, the first of which is Gravity Dan. Dan is a one-eyed alien, not purple, who is grounded after a terrible crash of a spaceship. On this planet, one can control the gravity around him to walk into space. Luckily, Dan is also able to change the gravity on the ground. Help him reach the lost ship. There's actually a bit of an omission here, because that's not the actual plot of the game. Yeah, Dan is grounded, but he's also got a red-eyed friend who is missing, and that seems to be the actual impetus. Kind of a twist off of, go rescue the princess narratives, such as they are. It's about as deep. See, you're gonna get, because
Adam, you dropped out a bit there.
Oh.
After the word C.
Okay, I hate it when that happens. Right. Anyway, as I was saying, I hesitate to call this a platformer. I guess it's technically a platformer. You can see the mechanics on display here.
It does not like that I alt-tabbed while I was doing things and broke controller. So, one moment. Fixing.
It's gonna be one of those nights, isn't it?
And I don't think it likes Xbox One controllers because I can't do anything.
You gotta go to settings, and you gotta plug in the inputs manually.
Oh, God. I'll just use keyboard then. Fuck that.
Yeah, that threw me for a loop first as well. Yeah, this game isn't the most well put together piece of software we've ever encountered on the program.
As you can see by the main menu, it does not like ultra-wide.
It's not the worst either. We've encountered much worse. This is functional.
Oh, yes.
But yeah, it's not great on a technical level.
Yeah.
Maybe owing to its age, because, the initial release of this is almost a decade ago. We get games from all sorts of strange time periods. I don't know. Just games hanging anciently on code sites. I don't know if it's yes, the publisher went out of business or whatever. I don't know what's the phenomenon there, but I could speculate all day, but that's not going to get us anywhere. As I was saying, I hesitate to call this a platformer, at least in the traditional sense. But it comes across more as one of the gimmick levels of a platformer. The gravity's all screwed up in this stage, so you've got to, do the, dash about. But instead of being one level, it's the entire game.
30 years ago, this would have been a mini game in a platformer.
Once again, it's not a mini game; it's a gimmick stage. A whole bunch of NES platformers had that one stage where gravity was really low, usually a water stage. Look at you, Mega Man, where you jump extra high, that kind of thing.
Hey, sometimes it's the moon.
Yeah. Yes, I'm aware. And sometimes, they did the, hey, look, we can flip the spread upside down, and gravity's affecting. It's in that school of design. Except it's the entire game. So calling it a platform, I don't think it's off base. It's just, it's not your traditional platformer. At least in the respects of its mechanics. Like, you have to manipulate gravity to get everywhere and anywhere. I think more accurately, it's more of a puzzle game by way of Super Meat Boy.
Mm-hmm.
Because your goal is, well, one, to get to the end, but also to get all the stars. And you need to get the stars because they're the currency that opens up further levels. Just completing the level will open up the next stage. But if you want to move on to the next world or the next hardcore world, it's even more difficult puzzles and such, or obstacles.
Oh, you don't have much air control. Okay.
That's the actual conceit of the game. You don't turn on a dime, you will have to deal with some actual physics. Because, curvature of angles is a thing in this game. Which,
I don't like how strict the out-of-bounds area is.
You're going to get a ton of drift in this game, so yeah, a lot of your death is just going to come up from heading off screen. That's why I say this is like Super Meat Boy.
Well, games back that would have this as a mechanic, there was still a bit of grace on where out of bounds was.
Yeah, this is very loosey-goosey.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to be your primary struggle. Not so much the obstacles, it's, dealing with the physics here.
Right.
And I can't, I'm not sure how to value judge this, because I think that's the intention here. But I don't like it, not one bit. It feels very cheap.
Yeah, I can see that.
Downright sloppy, even.
It feels like this was somebody's Game Jam game before Game Jams really took off. I know they've been around for a while, but
I'm pretty sure Game Jam things existed, in 2016.
They probably did, but they probably weren't as, big.
Yeah. Anyway, you might want to move to the next stage because, the final component comes into play here. And that is the addition, further puzzle elements.
Oh, fuck me.
Yeah. Because, you gotta, it's not just a get to the end. Now you gotta open that door. But, good luck. This is about where I stopped playing. Because because after the 50th time of hitting that spiked wall, I was kind of done. Because you gotta hit that switch in order to go down.
Oh, fuck you, game.
And like I said, this is very, Super Meat Boy, Dust Force, 1001 Spikes, those kind of platformers.
At least you respawn fast.
You respawn fast, and at least Dust Force felt fair.
Yeah. Like I said, basically, this is just, this is another one of those games that's going to kill you over and over again. Death is a very minimal penalty.
Obviously, if you don't give a fuck about the stars, they're actually very easy, but I mean...
Yeah, once again, you will need a certain amount of stars to, see the hardcore zone over there. That you need 30 stars in order to get into. I'm not sure why you would want to, outside of, you like this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, see, 30 stars. And, and this is pretty much the game. Once again, it's a... I don't want to say it's a basic affair because, the mechanics are pretty simple. all it is you walk and manipulate gravity, but all of the design is around these mechanics. Like it's in the level design, and they're okay. It's like not amazing, but I can't call them bad as such. It's just I don't like this.
I mean, the drift is pretty awful on this.
Yeah, I think that's what really killed the game for me. Not the it's going to be the 1,000 deaths of you every level. It's the drift. Like the drift is just too much.
Yeah, the drift and how little leeway you have going out of bounds.
Yeah.
If they gave me like at least 2.5 of my little guys here tall leeway, I would have had a much more fun time.
Yeah, I think so would I. So, aside from that, it's a perfectly functional game.
Mm-hmm.
It looks actually pretty impressive.
Yeah, the art's not that bad, especially for 2006 indie, or 2016 indie rather.
Yeah, we were getting very good-looking games in 2016. How we were getting good-looking indies in 2007.
Yeah, but this was in the Vogue style of the time. Kinda, you could have called this a retro-ish style. It's not going off of a particular console.
Yeah, the retro vibes is in the actual level art in the background.
Yeah,
especially the level art. Your little alien guy, Den, he's way too detailed and has too much graphical fidelity to ever consider this a retro game.
Right. Everything else looks like it could be in a retro game, and it kind of makes sense if he's supposed to be from another world. He should look out of place, at least
that is
personally.
A fair point. Yeah, no, that's a fair point, I think. Yeah. Anyway, now in terms of pricing, honestly, this game is fairly cheap. Regular price is $4.99, $5,
mm-hmm.
but it is oftentimes on sale for 50 cents. 49 cents.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not even talking a whole dollar here in terms of sale price. But even at full price, it's not gonna set you back.
Literally, the only issue with this would be if your credit card provider doesn't like you making purchases under $1.
Right. So, as far as pricing goes, we're in the it's good enough to justify a full $5, but it's you can often pick it up for I'm not even sure what else what goes for this little money.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of really cheap Steam games that go on really deep sales.
Oh no, you have one less pull of the Horse Girl game. You could probably get more enjoyment out of this than a gotcha pull.
Depends on the gotcha girls in the gotcha game, I think. Though, let's be honest, those going for 49 cents, not unless they're doing the actual slot spins or something like that.
Mm.
But anyway, we're not here to talk about the intricacies of gotcha games. Anyway, yeah, Gravity Den is another one of these games it's fine, I guess. I just didn't personally care for it. Spoiler alert, my other review is going to be much the same.
Mm.
But we'll get to that when we get to that. Anyway, I think I've said all I wanted to say on Gravity Den. Petty, what about you?
Yeah. It's an interesting curiosity, but I don't think I could bring myself to sit down and play this all the way through just because of the gripes
Yeah.
I mentioned earlier.
Yeah. Galax, anything else from your camp?
Not really. It looks like a fairly ordinary indie platformer, really, aside from the issues you noted with game with play feel.
Yeah. All right. So, yeah, that'll about do it for Gravity Den. Be sure to tune in after the break as Petty reviews Ion Shift.